What's going on, guys? Cameron back again from Attack on Anime, here to bring you my weekly review on PSO2 the animation. This one's going to be covering episode 9 of PSO2, and this episode was crazy, guys. This episode made me eat my words from last week, because last week I was really conflicted because Isuki kind of did that transformation out of nowhere. So I was just like, next week, like, the first thing they need to do is explain to me why he's able to do this at will, pretty much. And at the start of this episode, they started explaining, and they pretty much explained that PSO2 is a real world. So what that means is, like, everything that happens in game is real, like, even when people log in. So what I'm thinking is, when people log in, it's kind of like being, like, transferred to another universe, but it's like their actual body is still here. So it's kind of like really confusing in that aspect. But when they start explaining like more of why Isuki can do as much as he can do, is because his photon arts, which is like, I guess, like their energy level, it's so ridiculously high that he can like tap into immense power, and the Darkers are responding to that. That's why they've been attacking more, because their leader, known as Dark Falls, he needs a strong vessel in order to invade Earth. So as Isuki is growing stronger and stronger, the Darkers are growing stronger and stronger to try to take over his body so that they can take over Earth. Now with Dark Falls, like, the person who explained this to him was named Commander Kazura, and Commander Kazura is Aika's superior. Now he's pretty shady. Like, my theory is that he's Dark Falls, because throughout this episode that he starts pretty much pushing Isuki to train harder and harder, even though these Darkers are starting to get harder and harder for him to fight. Aika wants him to pull out of the fight because she doesn't want him to get hurt in the serious way or potentially die. So she decides to take the burden on herself, but Commander Kazura keeps pushing and pushing for it. He's just like, no, Isuki needs to train harder, and Aika's just like, no, I want him out of this fight. So I think Commander Kazura is Dark Falls, because even when they were talking about Dark Falls, they didn't show what he looks like, and Commander Kazura is always in some like dark, shady room. So I'm pretty sure he's Dark Falls. Like, it's telegraphed pretty hard on that part. But that's not the best part of this episode, guys. The best part of this episode by far was Aika. Aika's development through this episode was crazy, because we find out why she was so interested in Isuki was because of his photon level. Like, she could sense that he was pretty strong, and she wanted to make sure that nothing happened to him, because he leads a normal life. And throughout this episode, we're starting to see that Aika also wants to lead that normal type of life, because her friends at the school are pretty much just, they're looking for her desperately, but she's been so busy fighting Darkers in the game. And they're looking for her, and they're like, oh, we need Aika because she needs to do this thing with us because she agreed, and we're her friends, and we want to hang out with her, and we're worried about her. And Isuki was trying to bog himself down with student council jobs so that he can, like, resist the urge to go back into PSO2 after Aika told him to stop. But after he's hearing that Aika isn't showing up to school and she's gone missing, he's just like, no, I need to get back in the game. I need to fight. I need to help her fight. And one day he's encountered by a Darker that's an evolved Darker. It's called a boosted enemy. And he's saved by Geno, Echo, and Aika. And that's when Aika told him, hey, stay out of the fight. And as Isuki's staying out of the fight, a Darker tries to attack him in the real world. And then Aika comes to save him. And Isuki decides to get that courage to fight back, go out and defend Aika. And then by the end, they form this bond that was like it was really cool to see, because as we found out in this episode, Aika is an NPC, which is what I theorized before, but she's an NPC, but in her world she's real, and this is her job. This is just her job, but she's developed these human-like emotions, and even her boss, Commander Kazura, is starting to be like, hey, no, you need to stay focused on the mission. So that's why I'm saying I think Commander Kazura is definitely Dark Falls, because he's just like, he's too serious, and he's always like really, like, he's always just like pushing people even though they're in a dangerous situation. He's just like, no, you need to do this because I said so. He doesn't give like specific reasons. He's just like, just do it because I said so. So that's why I theorize that he's Dark Falls, the leader of the Darkers. And we have about 2 episodes left. I'm really excited to see it. Like I said, this episode had excellent pacing, and we got to see more of the end game. which looks amazing, by the way. Like, seeing Isuki in his awakened state, and he's getting stronger, and he's like starting to get overconfident. But yeah, guys, this episode definitely brought back the hype for me in terms of this anime, because the last few episodes, they were kind of starting to lose me because they were starting to do stuff like spend time in certain areas where I wish they wouldn't spend as much time, or they would just have stuff like Isuki's transformation happen and it just happened and no explanation. But this episode definitely gave us more in-game, more explanation, and more reasons to why things are happening as much as they are, especially the Darkers invading Earth. But yeah, guys, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Peace.